And right now it's time for that time when we talk to our special guest. Tonight our special guest is Frankie Stevens. Last seen on The Beat Goes On in 2009, Frankie is back with a great new CD for Christmas. It's called A Beautiful Christmas and features all of his favorite Christmas songs, plus his sister Gina Mills. Be watching tonight to win a copy. Frankie Stevens, welcome to The Beat Goes On. What an honor
Gerard,
to have you in our humble studios. Wonderful to see
nothing
you.
humble about these studios, mate. This has been a fantastic show for a lot of performers over a lot of years.
Oh, thank you.
A lot of years.
Thank you. You can stay, Frankie.
Thank you very much.
But you are here, of course, with a wonderful mission, your new Christmas album. But we're going to talk about it. But I think you and I should do a little bit of reminiscing before we start. Sad last week, wasn't it? Last week we heard the news about Ray Columbus, and I've already talked to Barry about it. But both you and I would have, well, we both knew Ray well, didn't we?
Yeah, well, you know,
What's your stories?
Ray was a friend to everyone in the industry in New Zealand, because I think more than anybody, he cared about New Zealand music, about the industry, and he was most probably one of the main protectors
Of the industry.
Of the industry,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, very, very sad.
Wonderful. It was a wonderful farewell on Saturday, of course.
Absolutely.
But sad to see him go.
Yeah, well, it is because you know, when you lose rangatira, you know, the chief like Ray, I remember it was similar feeling when Sir Howard passed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you just felt, my gosh, you know, we can't afford to lose people like that. I mean, we really can't, because there's so much more than just the singer or the performer. I mean, Ray especially, I think, got more into management as he sort of diversed himself of the performing side of things.
Well, he was the Rumours manager for the first couple of years, and he did a great job for us. Wonderful job.
And I think Zed, the rock band
Suzanne's boy.
Yeah, absolutely. And Suzanne herself has you know, mentioned about how instrumental he was in her early career as a chick, so to speak.
As a chick.
And a great chick as that, as she is, you know.
Now, Frankie, look, we look back over and we discover that your last visit with us was in 2009. Gosh, doesn't time go?
I know.
And what surprises me after looking at the tapes, you were more handsome than you were back then. So, what's the secret?
And the good thing about it too is that we haven't actually lost a lot of hair, both of us. You know, it's just...
Why don't we just pause for a second and play 60 seconds of you 7 years ago, way back in, I think it was June 2009. So let's just have a quick look over there and remind everybody of the journey.
Now, everybody knows you as the judge on New Zealand Idol. A lot of young people, but they wouldn't have known that Frankie Stevens travelled the world with a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
And you entertained in some of the biggest night spots in the world. That was another lifetime, wasn't it?
Well, it seems like 2 lifetimes ago, I think. You know, yes. Well, I suppose, you know, television, the magic of television, you know, has introduced me to a whole new audience, which is fantastic, because, you know, I was most probably singing to their mothers, and in some cases their grandmothers.
Oh, Frankie, you have
my gosh.
much more handsome now.
Oh, Gerard, you're a good man.
But Frankie, we're going to catch up. But what we need to talk about, and the whole purpose of seeing you here on The Beat Goes On, you've brought out a Christmas album. This is your first Christmas album, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Look, you know, I did Christmas in the Park for I think
all those
ever and a
years.
day
Yeah,
for many years, and never got around to doing a Christmas CD. You know.
So what caused this, Frankie? Was it did God contact you and say, Frankie, what about a Christmas album?
Well, I'd like to think so, but he actually contacted the producer of the album, Dick Lafort, and Dick had this idea of my sister and I singing together, because she doesn't sing for a living, you know. She's in other businesses, but
she's a great voice.
She's got an excellent voice, and so he kind of came up with the idea and the concept over a couple of years. It was, and I came up with the idea of pairing the CD up with a worthy cause. And the worthy cause was a trust called Hands Across the Water, which was formed after 2004 tsunami in Asia.
I remember it. I remember it.
Yeah,
Hands
and I
across
mean
the
a
water.
lot of people passed away due to that horrific tsunami. And a gentleman called Peter Baines from Australia was one of the forensic policemen who was over there identifying all the bodies and everything else, and he it affected him as it would, and it affected him hugely. So when he came back to Australia, he decided that he really wanted to do something about it, because he found that there were like hundreds and hundreds of children, Thai children, because that was the area that he was based in Thailand, and they lost their families, they lost their mums, their dads, just gone. That came into the villages and just took them out, and so he formed
a lot of orphans. That's what happened.
A lot of orphans. Yeah. So he formed Hands Across the Water with about 60 children at the time. Hands Across the Water built this through funding and everything else. Built this orphanage called Bantan Nam Chai, and over the first few years, the kids settled in. He brought in sponsors like one of the biggest buying groups in Australia is called Nata, and with their membership, they helped immensely with what they actually achieved. And now they've got something like 5 or 6 homes throughout Thailand, and not only do they take in orphans, as well as the ones that were there originally, they send people out into the areas of the cities that have prostitution of children that are on the streets, and they try to bring them back into some sort of true life, and give them something to work towards. And we have a trust in New Zealand called Hands Across the Water as well, which is part. Hands Across the Water, New Zealand. And
now look, Frankie, there's hundreds of charities out there, but
absolutely.
Why did you choose this particular one? What was it about?
Well, I got involved
charity?
with a friend of mine who is part of Nata, and I was doing some work for them. And she told me, she's a New Zealander called Kay Spencer, and she told me all about it. And she involved myself and my wife Bridget in with Hands Across the Water. And we love the kids, and we just wanted to be part of it. We saw the work that they were doing from grassroots right through, and helping these kids.
And all the profits on this are going towards
50% of the cost of the CD. The sale of the CD is $20, and
$10
a minimum of $10 will go to Hands Across the Water.
Wonderful.
We're hoping to sell about 4,000 or 5,000 of them. And the good thing about it is because of Nata, the buying group, 3 of their members here in New Zealand have given their services and free of charge. So they are distributing the CD throughout New Zealand, Smith City, JB Hi-Fi, and Appliance Shed in Auckland, and the other 2, Smith City and JB Hi-Fi, and of course JB Hi-Fi and Smith City in Auckland as well, distributed them throughout New Zealand. So, if you want to support Hands Across the Water, and of course me and my sister, then go and buy A Beautiful Christmas. It's got some great tracks on it.
Only $20.
$20, yes.
Now, what about the tracks? Tell us about the tracks. What's your particular favourite Christmas song?
On here?
Yeah.
Well, my sister sings track 1, which is Silent Night, which is great.
That's
When a Child is Born.
You couldn't have a CD without Silent Night, could you? For
Absolutely.
Christmas, yeah.
What Child Is This? There's a song called It Came Upon a Midnight Clear, which I really enjoyed singing. Also, Mary's Boy Child.
That's
and
lovely.
a lot of them are orchestral. So there's actually no drums or rhythm in them. It's all orchestral. And Dick Lafort is fantastic at arranging that sort of music.
Is this the ideal Christmas present, or is this the ideal Christmas present?
I think this is the ideal Christmas present. And the good thing about it is you'll be supporting an absolutely ideal charity as well, Hands Across the Water.
Yeah. Good on you, Frankie.
Oh, pleasure, brother. It's quite hard to to put CDs out there anymore because the old CD shops, the record shops, they're all gone, bro. You know, where are they?
It's all changed from our days.
It's all changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you get into? Now, first of all, baby boomer credentials. Frankie, what year were you born?
I was born before 1951 and after 1948. So, suffice to say,
1949.
Suffice to say, I pay very little to get on the buses these days.
So you got the gold card, have you, Frankie?
Yes, mate. Compliments of Winston, of course.
So let's look at that wonderful journey. It's completely changed, hasn't it? Since we were both young boys struggling to make it into the music world, and our big break was for me to phone up Ray Columbus, heard us sing, bang. Away we went. It just needed meeting obviously you met somebody that got you on your way.
Oh, look, that's what it's all about. I mean, we owe it as performers, musicians, whatever, to extend that hand of help to the young ones coming through. Yeah. That's how our industry works.
Who was your mentor? That was the question. Who do you say really got you?
Well,
guys?
Mine started off at college, really.
Yeah.
And it started off with Wayne Mason and Martin Hope and Chris Parry, and out of that came the Insect, which was my band, and at Tonga College in Upper Hutt. And out of that band, when I left and went to Sydney to join up with the Castaways there, the Formula came out of that band in Upper Hutt. So you just sort of pass along the experience you've got, the help you got from everybody you met along the way. But I suppose people that have helped me over the years, well, nobody would know them really, but
I wonder all the time, Frankie, if you hadn't had that wonderful voice and stage presence, what you would have been. An accountant? No, I don't think you would have been an accountant.
I'm not sure about an accountant. Well, it's hard to say because, you're brought up in an area which is not known for its educational value, especially to guys like me and in those days. So I don't know what I would have been. I was kind of always set on being in the industry.
You never ever gave it anything else another thought.
Well, I thought of being a rugby league player at one stage, but I don't think I was good enough to be that. But I enjoyed it. But no, once I kind of got into the music side of things, it kind of always stuck with me,
Now
But my sister, I suppose if I get to pay tribute to anybody,
it'd
be my oldest sister, Christina, because she got us, myself and my brother John, into the game by pushing us, by maybe nagging us to a certain degree. Come on, you can do this.
Come on, you guys, you can do it.
And supporting.
Now, so it was two parts to your career, isn't there? There was then a whole new audience met you on New Zealand Idol.
Yeah. That was great.
That was wonderful.
Absolutely, because New Zealand Idol was the first kind of talent quest in the modern medium.
Yeah.
And a few X Factor followed that, and New Zealand's Got Talent as well.
Have we done a disservice to New Zealand by, it seems to be a fad thing. We have New Zealand Idol for 2 or 3 years and then it fades out. And yet, so the young people of those 3 years got an opportunity, but then nothing ever happens after that. Do you seem to think it's...
Well, it's up to them, really.
But it should be a regular thing. Every year, annual, sort of a New Zealand Idol for the young people coming through.
Television, Television's changed. It's... the cost of putting on a show like that is pretty expensive, and television now budgets are done on a shoestring, as you well know, and it's just a different territory these days, television. So 3 years seems to be about the life of a show, unless you're a cooking show, of course. but I despair that light entertainment shows, that talk shows such as this, are hard to come by in New Zealand.
Well, we've been at it now we proudly claim we're the longest running chat show in New Zealand's history.
Yeah, I believe
we've done
it.
9 years, and
I believe it, absolutely.
and if all goes well, it'll be another 30 years. You think we get another 30 years?
Well, you might have to introduce somebody, your successor, if you're talking another 30 years, Gerard.
Now, I know you're a very generous man, Frankie, and we had to twist your arm, but you said, yes, you can have 3 copies, and we've only got 2 here at the moment, but we'll...
I'll go one downstairs, mate.
Yeah, we've got 3 copies of this wonderful, wonderful new CD. It's A Beautiful Christmas.
Yeah, look, I'm happy to give them away.
To give 3 copies away.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we need a highly intelligent question.
Absolutely.
We've already the very first track on the album is a well-known song called Silent.
You do the harmony.
Holy Night, Silent Night. So email Jared at thebeatgoeson.co.nz. That's pretty simple, isn't it?
It is.
And then in the subject line, write the word or words Silent Night. That's the first track on the album. And then we will select, out of all the entries, 3 lucky winners, and they'll each win a copy.
Nice.
Isn't that great?
I like that.
And we'll try and get it to there before Christmas, so that
That'd
they can
be
be
good.
playing it on Christmas night. So where are you heading for your holidays, Frankie? You got any favourite sort of batch in New Zealand that you go to? Or
No, you usually, because in the industry, as you know, you take work when you can get it. So Christmas Eve, you're usually working, or New Year's Eve, you're usually working. But this year, no, I'm going to be heading down Whanganui way, actually.
Whanganui, ooh.
Yes.
Now, for our audience, one of your big jobs is with an events company. What's the name of the company?
The name of the company is Avenues Event Management, and
you run events all throughout New Zealand.
The company runs events right throughout the country. It was established, it must be close to 25, 30 years ago, by a lady called Melanie Walker, as a one-person gig, pretty much.
Yeah.
But over the last 10 years,
it's grown.
It's grown incredibly to have 2 offices, one in Wellington and one in Auckland, and with a team of about 18 people. All the time, and at different periods during the year, it grows up to about 22, 23.
So what you're saying, Frankie, is that if somebody called you up and said, look, I want to run an event, you pretty well know how to go about it, because you've had a lot of experience.
Well, we certainly do know how to run events and put them together. But it's really it's working hand in hand with the clients and ensuring that what they want done, that we do it for them.
And you do a lot of the MCing?
Well, I will do some of the MC work if the client wishes me to do it. But I'll.
But sometimes they have their own favourite MC.
Well, they do, look, and horses for courses. There's events that I'm not suitable to. Especially youth events. I want a young MC these days, You can't trot out the old guy with one of those, Yeah. So horses for courses, but the events game is something that I've pretty much been involved in for a lot of years, and I love it. It's great.
And how much singing do you do now, Frankie?
Not as much as I used to, but I still do quite a bit. I'll still do. Some community events where I like to sing. Like, for example, this badge I have on my
there it is.
On my collar there.
Yep.
That's the white ribbon cause, and I did a thing in Porirua for the white ribbon cause for the riders down there, and it was a fantastic event. All local community, who get behind this, and local sponsors, and it was a great day. There in Porirua, and
you do a great job. You do a great job.
I love doing that sort of thing, and the same with Blue September, which you'll know about, of course. Prostate cancer is one of the biggest killers of men in New Zealand.
And we don't want to talk about it, do we, us men? It's the last thing we want to talk. But it's
absolutely. But I know and have friends and family who have experienced prostate cancer.
Yeah.
And it's something that we just got to get our heads around as men.
Frankie,
Yeah.
wonderful to see you again. Got to
Lovely
move
to
on
see
with
you.
the show. And
6.5, 7 years,
yeah,
my God,
we're not going to
mate.
make it 7.5 years or 7 years again. It's
Yeah.
we're going to get you on regularly, so you should come
Well,
in.
even
and-
if it is
yeah.
7 years, I think
Yeah.
you'll still be sitting there and I'll be sitting here. We might be sort of down a bit in the seats, but we'll be all right, mate.
And we might have grown some hair by then, do you think?
Or lost a few marbles.
Frankie, great to see you again.
You too.
Thank you.